Hi everyone, my name is Anthony Cummins and welcome to this. This is A Way of the Samurai Part 3. Now, today, as always, we're going to be working from the Book of Samurai and we're going to be on page 226. Now, first though, if you turn to page 264, you'll find this image. That is the ritual meal before a samurai departs for war. So, you know, what can we get from a ritual meal? You know, what can we get out of that personally? Well, actually, it's quite important because in this ritual meal, you drink from 3 cups. 3 cups of sake, and you take 3 sips. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. But what does this represent? So let's go through it. This is called, these 9 pours are called San San Kudo. Now the first the first sip means heaven. So in warfare or in your life, you have to understand the heavens. What type of clouds are there? Is it going to rain? What type of rain comes from what type of clouds? Does it, you know, how can you tell if a thunderstorm is coming? How do you know if it's going to rain all day? All the meteorology you can think of, including the stars, so you've got astrology and astronomy. And then, of course, you've got a lot more of the esoteric stuff like chi. So first of all, in your life, you've got to understand what is up in the sky. How does it affect my life? And how can I check it? And of course, this is all for warfare. How does this affect us as warriors in war? The second one is earth, understanding terrain. Do you know about the different types of terrain, all the different types of rivers, or how to identify mountains, how to identify rocks, the woods, the forests? You've got to start thinking about the different ways the earth affects you. Seems like animals, everything that you possibly interact with on the earth, you should get into and grasp with. So we've got heaven and earth, and a million lessons come from that. And then, of course, we have man. This is Ten Chi Jin, so heaven, earth, man. And man means your social interactions. So know the sky above you, know the ground you live on, and understand how to interact with humans, especially in a combat situation. If you're going into combat, you need to know how to act as a warrior, but also how to interact as a human. Now, we move on to the second cup. So the second cup, the first cup was more about your general environment. The second cup is more about your mental status. So the first one is wisdom. We think about wisdom as a warrior. Now, wisdom is not intelligence. Wisdom is the application of intelligence. So reading as many books as you want, doing as many things as you can academically will not make you a wise person. Wisdom is a totally different thing. It's understanding the world around you and doing the correct thing at the correct time, or giving the correct advice and knowing what to do, that which is wise, not intellectual. They cross, but know the difference. The next one is benevolence. If you're a hard warrior, you're a killer, you're good on the battlefield, the last thing you're going to be is benevolent. You're going to get used to murder. So you have to temper that. As a samurai, you have to temper this this idea that you can go out and kill and you're aggressive and you're a murderer and you're a violent person. You have to be kind to people, otherwise you just become a monster. If you're not kind to people, you're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to be a horrible person. And being a samurai is about, obviously, learning the way of the samurai is about elevating yourself above other people, which means in a positive way. It's not about becoming a horrible person. It's about becoming a very, very dangerous person, but someone who's fair and safe to be around if no one has done you any harm. Then we get on to courage. You've got to have courage as a military man. What's this mean for you? Somebody's picking on someone in the street, you're the guy who's got to sort it out. Someone's arguing with a girlfriend, giving her a bit of a slap, you've got to intervene. You've got to be the guy where everybody stands back. You've got to be the guy that walks over and does it, which is much more difficult than said. I often, every day, what I do is I try to pick up 3 pieces of litter every day. The reason for this is that I bend down correctly, I crouch down, I pick up the litter, so it's almost like I'm picking up a really heavy weight, but it's just probably a piece of paper, or it's like somebody's can or bottle, and I just lift it up, and then I go to the nearest bin and I put it in. Now the reason I do this, what I do is I always use whenever I go out, if I can see a bin, I pick up 3 pieces of litter that are in sight of the bin, because I don't want to be walking around for ages with somebody's stuff. So if I can see a bin there, a trash can in America, I bend down correctly so my body's correct, I pick it up and I put it in. That means if I do on average 3 a day, you're getting 1,000 a year in, and you're bending down correctly 1,000 times, and you're actually doing something good for the people. But courage is different, because you try doing that at night in front of a load of lads who are drunk on the corner, you're going to probably end up in a scrap, because they're going to want to, use that. So the difference is can you do it in front of that group of lads or not? Can you help someone who needs help when there's an aggressor around? Yeah, that's courage. And of course, on the battlefield. Then the last 3, so that was the mental attitude. The last 3 are situational, or the, not environment, that's the wrong word, but it's the time, if you like, the progress of time inside of Earth, inside of the world you live in, your human ideas, and then time. So we've got the first one is the beginning. Always understand how it starts. Let me do this a different way. I'll do all 3 at once. It's beginning, middle, and end. Show, choose, shoe. Now this means that you've got to have an understanding of the beginning. If you're going to start something, what's the best way to start it? But then the middle bit, starting it is usually quite easy. The middle bit is the difficult bit. That's the bit where you've got to work out how you're going to go around, how you're going to do things. And then at the end, you've got shoe, which means, am I bringing it to a satisfactory conclusion? Or am I not going to the end? Most people think of the beginning and the middle, but not the end. You have to think, how do I start this? And how do I finish this? And what is the process needed to do it? So you don't just go to war. You go, what do we need to do? Let's imagine what our goal is. So how do we start that? How do we achieve that? And how do we conclude it so everybody is happy? Because the idea about samurai life, and especially ninjutsu as well, is you have to leave it that where nobody knows there was any change, or you have to leave it and nobody is angry or aggressive with you. That means, for a samurai, that means that either you finish things where everybody's happy, or you utterly destroy and murder, kill the enemy till there's nothing left, and you're left with no problems. So you have a difficult choice there. Sometimes you can't leave it where there's going to be nobody angry at you or nobody trying to get revenge, so then everybody has to die on that side. Or is there a situation where you can leave it and everybody's happy and done? So just to recap, we've got when you go about your life, but warfare especially, when you go about your life, you've got heaven, we've got earth, we've got social interaction with man, we've got how wise are we, how do we use our intelligence, we've got how nice are we to people, our benevolence, how courageous are we, how realistically courageous are we, and we understand the process of the beginning, the middle and the end. This is one of the concepts that is really fundamental, but many people read over this because it's just a ritual drinking. So you really need to pay attention to that. That's page 266. So for you guys on the Natto Review Hub, I want you to concentrate on those 9 things, and I want you to discuss now in Natto Review Hub. I always turn off the discussion here because we always discuss in Natto Review Hub, so please join us there. So I want you guys in Natto Review Hub to discuss all of those 9 points and see what you come up with.